I was struggling with the lat pull-down machine when she approached me. Maya Chen had been coming to Iron Temple Fitness for about 3 months, always arriving at 6 in the morning like clockwork, just like me. I'd noticed her. Of course, everyone noticed Maya. She had this presence that filled a room, confident but not arrogant, focused but approachable. Her dark hair was always pulled back in a neat ponytail, and she moved through her workouts with a precision that spoke of dedication. "You're pulling too much with your arms," she said, her voice cutting through my headphones. I looked up, startled, and pulled one earbud out. "Sorry, your form. You're using your biceps too much. It should be your back doing the work." She smiled, and something in my chest tightened. "Mind if I show you?" That was how it started. Maya spent 15 minutes teaching me proper lat pull-down form, her hands occasionally adjusting my posture, professional, but warm. When we finished, she asked the question that would change everything. "I've been looking for a workout partner. Someone consistent. Would you be interested?" I said yes without thinking, surprising myself. I'd always been a solo gym goer, preferring the solitude and my carefully curated playlists. But something about Maya made me want to break that pattern. "I'm Riley, by the way," I said, extending my hand. "Maya." "I know." Her handshake was firm, confident. "I've seen your name on the sign-in sheet." We agreed to meet the next morning at 6 sharp. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about her hand on my shoulder, adjusting my posture. I told myself it was just excitement about having a gym partner, about finally having someone to spot me on bench press. I was exceptionally good at lying to myself. The first week with Maya, as my gym partner, transformed my mornings. She was punctual, arriving at 5:58 every day, already stretching by the time I walked through the door. She'd created a workout plan for both of us, splitting our focus between strength training and mobility work. "You're incredibly tight in your hip flexors," she observed on day 3, watching me attempt a deep squat. "Do you sit at a desk all day?" "Software developer," I admitted. 10 hours a day minimum. That explains it. "We need to add more stretching to your routine." Maya worked as a physical therapist, which explained her encyclopedic knowledge of biomechanics and injury prevention. She'd moved to Portland 6 months ago from San Francisco, taking a position at a sports medicine clinic downtown. She lived alone in a small apartment in the Pearl District, had a cat named Moki, and was obsessed with trying every coffee shop in the city. I learned all this during our rest periods, between sets, our conversations flowing easily despite the exertion. She was single, she mentioned casually one morning, had been for about a year. Her last relationship had ended when her ex-girlfriend couldn't handle the cross-country move. Ex-girlfriend. The word hung in the air between us, and I felt my heart rate spike in a way that had nothing to do with the deadlifts we'd just finished. "What about you?" Maya asked, taking a long drink from her water bottle. "Anyone special?" "No," I said, keeping my voice neutral. "I came out about 2 years ago, dated a few people. Nothing serious." Something shifted in Maya's expression, a subtle relaxation I couldn't quite identify. She nodded, smiled, and suggested we move to core work. By the end of the second week, we'd established a comfortable rhythm. Monday and Thursday were leg days. Tuesday and Friday were upper body. Wednesday was full body functional training. Weekends were optional, but we often found ourselves showing up anyway, neither willing to break the streak we were building. "You're getting stronger," Maya said one morning, watching me complete a set of pull-ups. 3 months ago, I couldn't do a single one. Now I could manage 5 with good form. "Good teacher," I replied, dropping down from the bar. "Good student." Her smile did things to my concentration that made the next exercise significantly harder. It was Maya who suggested we get coffee after our Friday morning workout. Something casual, just a quick stop at the cafe around the corner. I agreed, trying to ignore how nervous I suddenly felt. We were both sweaty and flushed from exercise, sitting in the corner of Barista's Best with our protein shakes and pastries. Maya had just finished telling me about a difficult patient who refused to do their prescribed exercises. Some people want to get better, but won't put in the work, she said, shaking her head. It's frustrating. Is that why you work out so much? I asked. To set an example? Partly. She picked at her croissant. Thoughtful. But mostly because it's the only time my brain shuts up. I'm a chronic overthinker. The gym is meditation for me. I get that, I said. I'm the same way. Code problems follow me everywhere, except when I'm lifting. Then it's just me and the weight. Exactly. Maya's eyes lit up with understanding. That's why I wanted a partner. Someone who gets that mindset, who treats it like a practice, not just exercise. We sat there for 2 hours, coffee forgotten and cold, talking about everything and nothing. She told me about growing up in Sacramento, the daughter of Taiwanese immigrants who wanted her to be a doctor. Physical therapy was her compromise, a way to heal people. Without the medical school, her parents demanded. I told her about coming out to my conservative Catholic parents. The year of silence that followed, the slow rebuilding of those bridges. She listened without judgment, her hand resting on the table between us, close enough that I could feel its warmth. That must have been incredibly difficult, she said quietly. It was, but it was also necessary. I couldn't keep pretending to be someone I wasn't. No, Maya agreed. We shouldn't have to shrink ourselves for other people's comfort. When we finally left the cafe, Maya suggested we make it a regular thing. Coffee after Friday workouts. One agreed immediately, perhaps too eagerly, but she didn't seem to mind. Walking to our cars, she touched my arm briefly, a casual gesture that sent electricity through my skin. Thanks for this, she said, for being a good gym partner and a good friend. Friend. The word should have been comforting. Instead, it felt like a boundary being drawn, a line I didn't want to acknowledge. Maya announced the competition idea in early October, 6 weeks after we'd started training together. Iron Temple was hosting a friendly fitness challenge, teams up to completing various strength and endurance tests. Nothing too intense, she assured me, just a fun way to test our progress. We should enter, she said, enthusiasm bright in her eyes. It'll give us something to train for. I was hesitant. Competition had never been my thing, and the idea of performing in front of the gym's entire morning crew made my anxiety spike. But Maya was practically bouncing with excitement, and I found myself unable to say no to her. We modified our training schedule, adding more conditioning work, practicing the specific movements that would be tested. Maya pushed me harder than she had before, and I responded by pushing back, surprising both of us with my competitive fire. Once it was ignited, where has this intensity been hiding? She teased one morning, watching me crush a set of burpees that would have destroyed me a month ago. You brought it out, I replied, breathless but grinning. The training brought us closer, literally. Maya was constantly adjusting my form, her hands on my waist during squats, steadying my legs during planks, spotting me through heavy lifts. Each touch was professional, necessary, completely appropriate. Each touch also made me increasingly aware of how much I wanted her hands on me in contexts that had nothing to do with exercise. I was falling for her, and I had no idea if she felt the same way. There were moments that made me wonder, the way her gaze would linger sometimes when she thought I wasn't looking, how she'd find excuses to touch my arm, my shoulder, my back. The fact that our Friday coffee sessions had expanded to Sunday morning walks through Forest Park, then Tuesday evening dinners at various restaurants we wanted to try. We were spending almost every day together, our lives intertwining in ways that felt like more than friendship. But Maya never made a move, never gave a clear signal, and I was too terrified of losing what we had to risk pushing for more. You're distracted, Maya observed one morning. 2 weeks before the competition, we were supposed to be practicing rope climbs, but I'd barely made it halfway up before sliding back down. Sorry, I muttered. Rough night's sleep. Want to talk about it? I almost laughed. How could I tell her that I'd been awake until 3 in the morning, thinking about the way she'd smiled at me during dinner, wondering what it meant, torturing myself with possibilities. Just work stress, I lied. Maya didn't look convinced, but she let it drop. Take 5. Hydrate. Then we'll try again. The competition was scheduled for a Saturday morning in mid-October. The gym was packed with participants and spectators, energy crackling through the air. Maya and I had drawn team number 7, placing us in the middle of the pack for rotation order. Nervous? Maya asked, bumping her shoulder against mine as we waited for our turn. Terrified, I admitted. Don't be. We've got this. We're ready. She grabbed my hand, squeezed it once, then let go. Trust me? Always. The Iron Temple Fitness Challenge consisted of 6 stations, each testing different aspects of strength and endurance. Teams had 4 minutes at each station to accumulate as many points as possible. The movements ranged from deadlifts to box jumps, rowing machines to wall balls. Maya and I would split the work, strategizing which exercises played to each of our strengths. I'll take the heavier deadlifts and rows, Maya said as we reviewed the stations one final time. You've got better endurance for the box jumps and wall balls. I nodded, trying to channel her confidence. Around us, other teams were warming up, the air thick with chalk dust and determination. I recognized several regular morning gym goers, along with some evening crew members I'd never met. Team 7, you're up in 5, announced Derek, one of the gym's owners. Maya and I moved to the starting station, deadlifts. The bar was loaded to 135 pounds, moderate weight that would test endurance more than maximum strength. The goal was total reps in for minutes, alternating between partners. Remember, Maya said quietly, her hand on my lower back, steady pace. Don't burn out in the first minute. The timer beeped, and Maya stepped up to the bar. She moved with the efficiency I'd come to admire, her form perfect as she knocked out 10 reps before stepping back. My turn. I gripped the bar, feeling the familiar knurling against my palms, and pulled. The weight felt good, manageable. I matched Maya's 10 and stepped back. We fell into a rhythm, matching each other rep for rep, communicating without words. By the time the 4 minutes ended, we'd accumulated 156 total reps, which earned enthusiastic cheers from the crowd and put us in second place overall. The next 4 stations went similarly well. We worked together seamlessly, anticipating each other's needs, pushing when needed and supporting when fatigue set in. Maya was incredible to watch, her athletic ability even more impressive under competition pressure. But what struck me most was how she made me feel capable, strong, like I could do anything as long as she was beside me. By the final station, we'd climbed to first place, narrowly ahead of a pair of competitive CrossFit athletes. The last challenge was a partner-synchronized workout, a brutal combination that required both teammates to complete the same movement before advancing to the next. 50 synchronized air squats, 40 synchronized push-ups, 30 synchronized sit-ups, 20 synchronized burpees, and 10 synchronized handstand holds against the wall. This is it, Maya said, her face flushed with exertion and excitement. We've trained for this. Let's finish strong. We positioned ourselves side by side, close enough that our hands nearly touched when we reached full depth in our squats. The timer beeped, and we began. Squats were manageable, our months of training together meaning we naturally moved at the same pace. Push-ups were harder, my arms screaming by rep 30, but Maya matched her speed to mine, calling out encouragement. Sit-ups passed in a blur of burning abs and ragged breathing. Then came the burpees. Burpees are terrible under any circumstances. 20 burpees, after everything we'd already done, felt like a special kind of torture. I got through 12 before my form started breaking down, my body begging me to stop. "Riley, look at me," Maya commanded, her voice cutting through my fatigue. I turned my head, met her eyes. "You've got this. 8 more. We do them together. Don't think, just move." Something in her voice, in her absolute certainty, pulled me through. We moved in sync, her presence beside me making the impossible feel achievable. 20 burpees done, the final handstand holds were almost anticlimactic. We kicked up against the wall, both of us holding the inverted position easily, despite our exhaustion. 10 seconds that felt like 10 hours, the gym erupting in cheers around us, and then the timer beeped. We'd wound up. Maya dropped down from her handstand and immediately pulled me into a hug, both of us sweaty and shaking and laughing. Her arms wrapped around me, tight and warm and right, and for a moment everything else disappeared. It was just us, just this feeling of accomplishment and joy and something deeper I didn't have words for. "We did it." She breathed against my shoulder. "You did it." I corrected. "You carried us." She pulled back just enough to look at me, her hands still on my waist, her face inches from mine. "No, we did this together, equal partners." The moment stretched, charged with something electric. Her eyes dropped to my lips for just a fraction of a second, and my breath caught. Was she going to Team 7? Winners. Derek's announcement broke the spell, and Maya stepped back, her hands falling away. The loss of her touch felt like a physical ache. The gym hosted a small celebration that evening, pizza and beer in the parking lot as the October air turned crisp. Maya and I were the heroes of the hour. Everyone wanting to congratulate us, ask about our training, marvel at our synchronized final station. "You two are like a well-oiled machine," commented Sarah, one of the evening regulars. "How long have you been training together?" "Almost 2 months," Maya replied, accepting a beer from Derek. "But it feels like longer." "That's chemistry," Sarah said with a knowing smile. "You can't fake that kind of connection." I focused very intently on my pizza, afraid my face would betray the rush of hope Sarah's words triggered. When I finally looked up, Maya was watching me with an expression I couldn't quite read. As the party wound down and people started drifting home, Maya and I found ourselves alone by her car, the parking lot lights casting long shadows. "Want to go somewhere?" Maya asked suddenly. "I'm too wired to go home yet." "Where?" "Anywhere. Everywhere. Let's just drive." So we drove, Maya behind the wheel of her Subaru, me in the passenger seat, Portland sliding by our windows as we headed west toward the coast. We didn't talk much, letting the playlist from her phone fill the silence. The music a mix of indie rock and electronic beats that somehow perfectly matched the energy humming between us. We ended up at Cannon Beach, arriving just as the sun was setting. The beach was nearly empty, just a few hardy souls braving the wind to watch the day end. Maya parked, and we walked down to the sand, stopping to remove our shoes before heading toward the water. Haystack Rock loomed in the distance, massive and eternal against the orange and purple sky. Waves crashed rhythmically, and the air tasted of salt and possibility. "I love it here," Maya said softly, her arms wrapped around herself against the cold. "It reminds me that I'm small, that my problems are temporary, that there's so much more to existence than whatever I'm worrying about." "What are you worried about?" I asked, turning to look at her. She was quiet for a long moment, staring out at the ocean. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely audible over the waves. "Screwing this up. The competition. Maya, we won, not the competition." She turned to face me fully, and even in the fading light, I could see the vulnerability in her expression. "This, us, whatever this is." My heart was suddenly pounding harder than it had during any workout. "What do you mean?" "Riley," she took a breath. seemed to gather courage. I didn't ask you to be my gym partner just because I needed someone to train with. I asked you because I've been watching you for weeks, working up the nerve to talk to you, trying to find any excuse to get close to you. The world narrowed to just her face, her words, the sound of my pulse in my ears. I told myself it was just friendship. She continued, that I was reading too much into things, that you probably weren't even interested in women, or at least not interested in me. But then you mentioned your ex-girlfriend, and I thought maybe there was a chance. But I was scared to push it, scared to lose you if I was wrong. You weren't wrong, I heard myself say, my voice shaking. Maya, you weren't wrong. I wasn't. I've been falling for you since the first morning. Every workout, every coffee, every conversation. I just thought you only saw me as a friend, as a training partner. I didn't get to finish the sentence because Maya closed the distance between us, her hands cupping my face, her lips finding mine. The kiss was soft at first, tentative, a question being asked and answered. Then it deepened, weeks of tension and longing pouring into the connection. Her lips were cold from the wind, but warmed quickly. And when she pulled me closer, I went willingly, my arms wrapping around her waist. We kissed like we had all the time in the world, and simultaneously like the moment might disappear if we didn't hold on to it. When we finally broke apart, both breathless, Maya rested her forehead against mine. I've wanted to do that for so long, she whispered. Why didn't you? I was afraid of misreading signals, afraid of ruining what we had. You became so important to me so quickly. Riley, the thought of losing you was unbearable. You're not going to lose me, I promised, my hands finding hers, our fingers interlacing. Maya, you're not going to lose me. We stayed at the beach until full dark, talking about everything we'd been too afraid to say before. Maya admitted she'd been attracted to me from the first day she saw me at the gym, that she'd specifically chosen 6A and workouts because that's when I came. I confessed to all the times I'd lost count during sets because I was too busy watching her. How I'd started looking forward to our Friday coffee sessions more than anything else in my week. I thought I was being obvious. Maya laughed, her arm around my waist as we walked back to the car. I practically found excuses to touch you constantly. I thought that was just you being a physical therapist. I admitted, professional touches, nothing more. There was nothing professional about it. I was shameless. I liked it, I said quietly. I liked it a lot. In the car on the drive back to Portland, Maya reached over and took my hand, holding it while she drove. It was such a simple gesture, but it felt monumental, this public claim, this acknowledgement that we were something more now. What happens Monday? I asked as we neared the city, at the gym. What do you want to happen? I don't want anything to change, I said honestly. I love training with you. I don't want to lose that. We won't. We'll just add this other dimension. She squeezed my hand. We can keep the gym time focused on workouts. Save the romantic stuff for outside. Romantic stuff, I repeated, testing the words. Liking how they felt. Is that okay? Is that what you want this to be? Yes, I said without hesitation. Maya, yes. She pulled up to my apartment building, but didn't immediately let go of my hand. Can I take you to dinner tomorrow? An actual date? I'd really like that. Good. She leaned across the center console, kissed me softly. Text me when you're inside? I will. I practically floated up to my apartment, my lips still tingling from her kisses. My mind replaying every moment of the evening. My roommate, Jessica, took one look at my face and squealed. Oh my God, did something happen with Maya? I'd been confiding in Jessica about my feelings for weeks, suffering through her well-meaning. but ultimately unhelpful advice to just tell her. Now I collapsed onto our couch, grinning like an idiot. We kissed. Finally, tell me everything. I did, sparing no details, needing to process it all out loud. Jessica listened with increasing delight, interrupting only to express approval or demand clarification. So you have a date tomorrow? She confirmed when I finished. Yes, a real, actual date. Riley, I'm so happy for you. You've been glowing since you started training with her. But now, you look like you're about to burst. I feel like that. I admitted. Jess, is it crazy that I'm already thinking about her moving in someday? We haven't even had a first date yet. It's lesbian destiny, Jessica said solemnly. You'll be U-hauling within a month. Shut up, I laughed, throwing a pillow at her dot. But as I lay in bed that night, unable to sleep despite the day's exhaustion, I couldn't help thinking she might be right. What I felt for Maya already went so deep, felt so foundational, like she'd become essential to my daily existence. The thought of her being more than just my gym partner, more than just my friend, filled me with a joy I'd never experienced before. Maya picked me up at 7 on Sunday evening, and I spent approximately 3 hours getting ready, changing outfits for times before settling on dark jeans and a forest green sweater that Jessica instead brought out my eyes. You look beautiful, Maya said when I opened the door, and the simple sincerity in her voice made my heart flip. She'd made reservations at a small Italian restaurant in Northwest Portland, the kind of intimate place with candles on every table and soft jazz playing in the background. It was perfect. Romantic without being over the top, cozy without being too dark. I hope this is okay, Maya said as we settled into our booth. I wanted somewhere we could actually talk, not one of those loud, trendy places. It's perfect. We ordered wine and appetizers, falling into conversation as easily as we always did, but now with an added layer of awareness. Her foot found mine under the table. Our hands kept finding excuses to touch across the tablecloth. Every moment felt charged with possibility. Tell me something I don't know about you, Maya said, her fingers playing with mine between courses. Like what? Anything. Something you've never mentioned. I thought about it, taking a sip of wine. I wanted to be a marine biologist when I was a kid. I was obsessed with whales. Read every book I could find about them. But then I discovered coding in high school and fell in love with that instead. Do you ever miss it? The marine biology dream. Sometimes. I still love the ocean. But I think I love building things more, creating something from nothing through code. There's a magic in that. There is, Maya agreed. Okay, your turn. Ask me something. What made you want to become a physical therapist? She smiled, but there was a sadness in it. My little brother. He has cerebral palsy, needed intensive physical therapy growing up. I watched these PTs work with him, saw how they helped him gain independence and confidence. I wanted to do that for other people. Be the person who helps them reclaim their bodies, their lives. That's beautiful, I said softly. He's doing great now. By the way, lives in San Diego. Works as a graphic designer. He's more independent than anyone thought he'd be. And I like to think his childhood PTs are part of why. And now you're doing that for other people. Trying to. Some days are more successful than others. We talked through dinner and dessert, the restaurant slowly emptying around us until we were one of the last couples remaining. The staff was too polite to rush us, but eventually we took the hint and headed out into the cool night. Walk, Maya suggested, and I agreed. We wandered through Northwest Portland's tree-lined streets, past beautifully restored Victorian homes and trendy boutiques closed for the evening. Maya's hand found mine naturally, our fingers interlacing. And I realized I'd never held someone's hand while walking before. All my previous relationships had been conducted largely in private, hidden from view. This public tenderness was new, thrilling, a little scary. "What are you thinking?" Maya asked, noticing my expression. That I've never done this before. Held hands in public with someone I'm dating. She stopped walking, turned to face me with concern. "Is it too much? We can know." I interrupted quickly. "It's not too much. It's perfect. I'm just happy and a little overwhelmed by how happy I am." Her expression softened. "Good overwhelmed? The best overwhelmed." She kissed me then, right there on the sidewalk, gentle and sweet. When she pulled back, she kept her hands on my waist. "I really like you. Riley Chen. My last name is Morrison," I said, confused. "I know, but I like the sound of Riley Chen. Don't you?" It took me a moment to understand what she was implying, and when I did, my face flushed hot. "Maya, it's our first date. I know. She laughed. Too fast. "Sorry. I've never felt like this before. Like I could see a whole future with someone so clearly." "Me neither," I admitted. "But maybe we could take it one day at a time, see where this goes. One day at a time," she agreed. Starting with Monday morning at 6 a.m. Wouldn't miss it. The next few weeks were a study in balance, learning how to be both training partners and romantic partners. At the gym, we maintained our focus, pushing each other through workouts. Celebrating peers, refining our form. But there were small differences. Now, lingering touches that meant more, shared glances loaded with private meaning, the occasional kiss when we thought no one was looking. "You two are adorable," Sarah commented one morning, catching us smiling at each other between sets. "Young love is beautiful." "We're not that young," Maya protested, but she was grinning. "Young enough," Sarah insisted. "My wife and I have been together 20 years. You'd have that look." "What look?" I asked. "Like you can't quite believe your luck. Enjoy it. Hold on to it. Not everyone finds their person." Outside the gym, we were navigating new relationship territory. Maya had keys to my apartment within 3 weeks. And I to hers. We fell into routines. Sunday morning farmers market visits, Tuesday Thai food and Netflix, Thursday evenings at her place cooking dinner together. Weekends were adventures. Exploring Portland and the surrounding areas, hiking in the gorge, wine, tasting in Willamette Valley, driving to the coast whenever we needed ocean air. My parents noticed the change in my demeanor during our weekly phone call. I'd been increasingly open with them since coming out, and while things weren't perfect, they were trying. "You sound happy." "Mija," my mom observed. "Really happy." "I am." "Mom, I met someone." There was a pause, and I could practically hear her processing. "A woman?" "Yes. Her name is Maya. She's a physical therapist, incredibly kind, and she makes me really happy." Another pause. Then, carefully, "I'd like to meet her. When you're ready. Your father, too. We'd both like to meet her." Tears pricked my eyes. It wasn't full acceptance. Not yet. But it was progress. "I'd like that, too." "Mom, thank you." When I told Maya about the conversation later, she pulled me into her arms, understanding the significance without needing explanation. "We'll take it slow," she assured me. "Whenever you're ready. No pressure. I'm already ready," I realized. "I want them to know you. I want them to see how happy you make me." Maya met my parents on Thanksgiving, a nerve-wracking dinner at their house in the suburbs. My mother was stiffly polite. My father cautiously friendly. My younger brother Carlos utterly charmed by Maya's ability to discuss both physical therapy and the San Francisco 49ers with equal enthusiasm. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. My parents could see that Maya made me happy, that this wasn't a phase or a rebellion. By the time we left, my mother hugged Maya, whispered something in Spanish that made Maya smile. And I felt another piece of my life clicking into place. December brought Portland's gray rain and the holidays, along with our first real challenge as a couple. Maya's clinic was slammed with end-of-year patients trying to use insurance benefits, leaving her exhausted and stretched thin. She was working 10-hour days, sometimes 6 days a week, and our carefully constructed routines began to fray. "I'm sorry," she said one evening, canceling our Thursday dinner via text. 3 emergency appointments added to my schedule. "I won't be out until 9 at least." "No worries," I texted back. "I'll bring food to you. Don't argue." I showed up at her clinic at 8:30 with Thai food and found her in her office, head in her hands, looking depleted. She looked up when I knocked, and the relief in her face made my heart ache. "You came." Of course I came. I set the food down and wrapped my arms around her. "You've been running yourself ragged. When did you last eat?" "Lunch." "Maybe." She leaned into me, and I could feel the tension in her shoulders. "I'm sorry, I've been so absent lately. Don't apologize for working hard. Just let me help when you need it." We ate in her office, and I massaged her shoulders while she told me about her day. The difficult patients, the insurance paperwork nightmares, the constant pressure to see more people in less time. "This isn't sustainable," I said gently. "You know that, right?" "I know." January should ease up. People tend to forget about their aches and pains during the holidays, then remember them all in the new year. She turned to look at me. "Thank you for understanding, for not being upset that I've been unavailable. We're partners," I said simply. "That means supporting each other through the busy times, not just enjoying the easy times." "When did you get so wise?" "Probably when I started dating a physical therapist who teaches me about proper movement patterns and life philosophy." She laughed, some of the tension leaving her frame. "I miss you. I miss us. I miss you too. But we'll get through this. And hey, we still have mornings at the gym. Those have been my favorite part of each day," she admitted. "Seeing you, working out together. It's been the thing keeping me sane." We did make it through December, though it required patience and understanding from both of us. Maya worked her grueling schedule, and I supported her through it, bringing her meals, letting her vent about difficult days, giving her space when she needed to decompress. Our gym sessions remained sacred, 6 a.m. every weekday without fail, that are of shared movement and silent support. Christmas Day, Maya met my family officially, joining us for dinner and prison exchange. She brought wine and flowers and a genuine enthusiasm that won over even my most skeptical relatives. My mother pulled me aside while Maya was charming my grandmother in Spanish. "She's good for you," Mom said simply. "I see it. You're happy, confident. That's what I want for you, Mija. Happiness. I am happy, Mama. Really happy." Maya and I exchanged gifts later, back at her apartment, just the two of us and Moki the cat. I'd gotten her a massage gift certificate and a first edition of her favorite book. She'd gotten me a necklace, simple and elegant, with a small barbell charm. To commemorate where we started, she said as she fastened it around my neck. "And to celebrate how far we've come." "It's perfect," I whispered, touching the charm. "You're perfect." "I'm really not," she laughed. "But I'm perfect for you, I think." "You are," I agreed, pulling her close. "You absolutely are." January arrived with characteristic Pacific Northwest rain and a sense of renewal. Maya's work schedule eased as predicted, and we rediscovered our rhythm. We set new fitness goals for the year. Maya wanted to deadlift twice her body weight. I wanted to master pistol squats and finally learn handstand push-ups. Big goals, Maya observed as we wrote them in a shared note on our phones. but achievable with consistent work. Just like relationships, I said without thinking. Maya looked up from her phone, a smile playing at her lips. Is that what we are? A big goal requiring consistent work? The best goal, I clarified. The one I want to keep working at forever. Her expression softened, turning serious. Forever is a long time. Riley, I know. And I did know. It was too soon to be saying these things, too early in our relationship to be talking about forever. But with Maya, everything felt different. Accelerated, but not rushed. Deep, but not overwhelming. I'm not saying we need to plan our whole lives right now. I'm just saying I could see it. With you? She set her phone down and took both my hands in hers. I could see it too. I've been seeing it since that first week at the gym. If I'm honest, it terrified me. And now it still terrifies me. But in a good way. Like standing at the top of a mountain, knowing you're about to ski down something incredible and challenging and completely worth it. We sealed the moment with a kiss. And I felt something settle in my chest. A certainty. A peace. This was it. She was at DOT by February. Maya was essentially living at my apartment. She still had her place in the Pearl District. But her toothbrush was in my bathroom. Her clothes were in my closet. And Moki had been temporarily relocated to my apartment because he missed me too much. This is ridiculous, Jessica observed one evening, watching Maya cook dinner in our kitchen while I set the table. She should just move in officially. She's here every night anyway. We've only been together for months, I protested. But even I could hear how weak the argument sounded. Lesbian time moves differently, Jessica said wisely. For months is like 2 years in heterosexual time. Just ask her. But I didn't need to ask. Maya brought it up herself a week later on Valentine's Day. She'd made reservations at a nice restaurant, brought me flowers, the whole romantic gesture. Over dessert, she reached across the table and took my hand. I have a question, and I want you to really think about it before answering. My heart jumped. Okay, my lease is up at the end of March. I could renew, or she took a breath, or I could officially move in with you. I know it's fast. I know people will say we're rushing. But Riley, I haven't slept at my own apartment in weeks. My cat lives with you. Most of my clothes are in your closet. We're already living together. We're just paying for 2 places to do it. Yes, I said immediately. She blinked. You didn't think about it. I don't need to think about it. Yes, move in with me. Officially. Let's stop pretending you live anywhere else. Her smile could have lit up the entire restaurant. Yeah, I squeezed her hand. Maya, you're my favorite part of every day. Coming home to you, waking up with you, cooking dinner together, falling asleep with your arm around me. Why would I want that to be temporary? I love you, she said suddenly, her eyes widening like she hadn't meant to say it out loud. The words hung in the air between us, huge and terrifying and perfect. I love you too, I replied, and watched her entire body relax with relief. God, Maya, I love you so much. We got some looks from other diners when we both started crying, but neither of us cared. We'd said it. We loved each other. And she was moving in. March was a flurry of packing and organizing, combining our lives in practical ways. We donated duplicate kitchen items, reorganized closets, turned my spare room into a home gym with a weight bench and yoga mats. Maya's furniture merged with mine, creating a space that felt like ours rather than just mine. It's perfect, Maya said on move-in day, surveying our living room. Moki was already claimed the sunny spot by the window, unbothered by the chaos around him. It feels like home. It is home, I agreed, wrapping my arms around her from behind. Our home? Summer arrived with unusually warm weather, and we celebrated our 6-month anniversary with a weekend trip to Bend. We hiked, visited breweries, and spent a lazy afternoon floating down the Deschutes River on inner tubes. I can't believe it's only been 6 months, Maya said, floating beside me, our tubes loosely tied together. It feels like I've known you forever. Good forever or bad forever. The best forever. She reached over and squeezed my hand. I can't imagine my life without you anymore. Good thing you don't have to, I replied, lifting my face to the sun. We continued to train together every morning, pushing each other to new personal records. Maya hit her goal of deadlifting twice her body weight in July, and I finally mastered pistol squats in August. The gym had become our sanctuary, that early morning hour where we focused on nothing but movement and each other. You to our relationship goals, Sarah told us one morning, watching us work through a particularly brutal leg workout. My wife and I tried working out together once. We almost divorced. The secret is that we actually like pushing each other, Maya explained, and we're both competitive enough to rise to challenges. Plus, I added, we started as gym partners. The relationship grew from that foundation. Smart, Sarah nodded approvingly. Build on what works. Fall brought my birthday, and Maya planned an elaborate surprise. She'd recruited Jessica, my brother Carlos, and several friends to help pull it off. When I came home from work on my birthday, expecting a quiet evening, I walked into an apartment full of people shouting surprise. Maya, I gasped, taking in the decorations, the food, the cake. All my favorite people gathered in our living room. You did this? Happy birthday, love, she said, kissing my cheek. You deserve to be celebrated. The party was perfect, exactly the kind of low-key gathering I loved. Good food, better conversation, people I cared about all in one place. But the real surprise came later, after everyone had left and Maya and I were cleaning up. I have one more gift, she said, her voice nervous in a way I rarely heard. Maya, this party was more than enough to just open it. She handed me a small box, too large to be a ring, which was good because we'd only been together 9 months, and that would be crazy. Right. I opened the box to find a key. Not just any key, a house key, but attached to a keychain that held a photo of a beautiful craftsman house I didn't recognize. What is this? Our house. Potentially. If you want it to be. Maya was talking fast now, nervous energy radiating from her. I know we're renting now, and that's fine. But I've been saving for a down payment for years. And I found this place. This perfect house in Selwood with a garage we could convert to a full home gym and a yard for Moki, and it's close to both our jobs, and I thought maybe we could buy it. Together. I stared at the key, then at her, then back at the key. You want to buy a house with me? I want to build a life with you. A real, permanent life. Houses, mortgages, future planning, all of it. She took my hands. I know it's fast. I know people will say we're crazy. But Riley, when you know, you know. And I know you're it for me. Can we see it? I asked, my voice shaky. The house? Right now? It's almost 11 at night. Right now, 20 minutes later, we were parked in front of 3840 7th Spokane Street, looking at a charming 1920s craftsman with a front porch and mature trees in the yard. Even in the dark, I could see why Maya had fallen in love with it. The inspector already checked it out. Maya explained as we sat in the car. Foundation is solid, roof is only 5 years old, electrical and plumbing have been updated. It needs some cosmetic work, but nothing structural. And the garage is already partially finished. We could have our dream home gym. How much? I asked practically. She told me, and I did quick mental math. With my savings and hers combined, the down payment was manageable. The mortgage would be less than our current rent. It's a good investment, I said slowly. Real estate in Portland only goes up. That's not why I want it, Maya said quietly. I want it because I can picture us there. I can see us painting walls together, hosting Thanksgiving dinner, maybe eventually. She trailed off. Eventually what? Kids. Maybe. Someday. If you wanted that. She was looking straight ahead. Not at me. Vulnerable in a way I rarely saw. I know we haven't talked about that. And we don't have to decide now. But when I look at that house, I see the future. Our future? I reached over and turned her face toward me. I see it too. Let's buy the house. Maya, really, really. Let's do this crazy, wonderful, too fast thing. Let's buy a house and build our life and see where this goes. She kissed me then, deep and passionate and full of promise. I love you so much. I love you too. Now let's go home and start looking at paint colors. The escrow process was exactly as stressful as everyone warned us it would be. There were inspections and appraisals, last-minute negotiations, and mountains of paperwork. Maya and I spent evenings huddled over documents, signing our names until our hands cramped. Is it always this complicated? I groaned, signing what felt like my 1000th form. Apparently, Maya said, rubbing her eyes. But it'll be worth it. Our house, Riley, our actual house. We closed on a Friday in late October, almost exactly 1 year after the fitness competition that had changed everything. Standing in the empty living room of 3847 Spoken Street, keys officially in hand, we both got emotional. We did it, Maya whispered, squeezing my hand. We did, I agreed, looking around at the space that would become our home. Now we just have to make it ours. The next 2 months were a whirlwind of renovation and decoration. We painted walls on weekends, installed new light fixtures, refinished the hardwood floors ourselves in a grueling 3-day marathon. Maya's brother flew up from San Diego to help us convert the garage, and my brother Carlos recruited some friends to help move our furniture. Jessica cried when she helped us unpack boxes in the kitchen. I'm losing my roommate, but gaining a crying shoulder at your housewarming party. She sniffled. You'd better invite me over all the time. You'll have a standing invitation, I promised, hugging her. Your family. The home gym came together beautifully. We installed rubber flooring, mounted a pull-up bar, brought in our weight bench and free weights. Maya found a vintage mirror at an estate sale that we mounted on one wall. Standing in that space, I could already imagine our morning workouts, the routine we'd continue in our own home. It's perfect, Maya said, echoing my thoughts. Better than any commercial gym. Because it's ours. We hosted Christmas at the new house, both our families coming together for the first time. My mother and Maya's mother bonded over cooking, taking over our kitchen to prepare a feast. My father and Maya's father discovered a shared love of woodworking and spent an hour examining the built-in bookshelves in our living room. They're getting along, Maya observed, watching our families mingle in our living room. Is this real life? It's our life, I said, wrapping my arm around her waist. The one we're building together. That night, after everyone had left and we were cleaning up, Maya pulled me close in the middle of our kitchen. This has been the best year of my life. She said softly, meeting you, falling in love with you, building this life together. I wouldn't change a single thing. Not even the part where you had to teach me proper squat form like 5 different times. She laughed. Not even that. Especially not that. Because it meant I got to touch you, which was what I wanted all along. Shameless, I teased. Completely. And I'm not done yet. She pulled back slightly, suddenly serious. Riley, I have one more Christmas present for you, but I need you to close your eyes. Maya, please. Trust me. I closed my eyes, heard her moving, heard what sounded like her getting down on the floor. My heart started racing. Okay, she said, her voice shaky with emotion. You can open them. I opened my eyes to find Maya kneeling on our kitchen floor, a small velvet box open in her hands, a simple but beautiful diamond ring glinting in the light. "Riley Morrison," she said, tears already streaming down her face. "I know we've only known each other for 14 months. I know people will say it's too fast, too soon, too crazy. But I have never been more certain of anything in my entire life than I am about you. You are my best friend, my training partner, my home. You make me laugh every single day. You challenge me to be better. You've taught me what it means to be truly, completely loved. I want to spend the rest of my life working out with you at 6 a.m., coming home to you every night, building this beautiful life we've started. Will you marry me?" I was trying too hard to speak for a moment, so I just nodded frantically, dropping to my knees in front of her. "Yes," I finally managed. "Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes." She slid the ring onto my finger with shaking hands, and then we were kissing and crying and laughing all at once, holding each other on the floor of our kitchen in our house. "Engaged, I love you," Maya said between kisses. "God, I love you so much. I love you too," I replied, pulling back to look at the ring, then at her face, memorizing this moment. "When did you plan this? How did you keep it secret?" "I've had the ring for 2 months," she admitted. "I've been carrying it around, waiting for the perfect moment. And then tonight, with both our families here, in our home, it just felt right. It was perfect." I kissed her again, softer this time. "You're perfect. We're perfect," she corrected. Together, we decided on a September wedding, giving us 9 months to plan. Neither of us wanted anything to elaborate, just our closest family and friends, good food, great music, and a celebration of the love we'd found. Small and intimate, Maya insisted as we met with our wedding planner, a kind woman named Patricia, who specialized in LGBTQ weddings. "How small?" Patricia asked, pen poised over her notepad. 75 people? I suggested, looking at Maya for confirmation. "Perfect." "And where are you thinking?" We'd already decided on that part. A small vineyard in Willamette Valley, outdoor ceremony if weather permitted, reception in their beautifully restored barn. We'd visited 3 weekends ago and both fell in love immediately. The planning process was surprisingly fun, mostly because Maya and I agreed on almost everything. We both wanted a relaxed, intimate celebration. We both wanted to walk down the aisle together rather than separately. We both wanted to write our own vows. "This is disturbingly easy," Jessica observed one afternoon while helping us address save the dates. "You two are like one mind into body sometimes. It's because we communicate," Maya explained, "and because we want the same things out of life. It's because you're soulmates," Jessica said matter-of-factly. "Some people are just meant to find each other." We continued our morning workouts through all the wedding planning. That sacred hour at 6 a.m. in our home gym. If anything, training together became even more important as stress from planning occasionally crept in. "I needed this," Maya said one morning after a particularly intense deadlift session. "Just us, just movement, just being present. Always," I agreed, spotting her through her next set. Summer arrived, and with it came my bachelorette party, organized by Jessica and Carlos in a surprising display of joint coordination. They took me and a small group of friends to the coast for a weekend, renting a beach house and filling it with laughter and celebration. Speech. Someone called on the second night, and Jessica stood up with her wine glass. "I've known Riley for 5 years," she began, "and I've never seen her as happy as she's been since she met Maya. Watching them fall in love has been like watching someone find the missing piece of themselves they didn't even know was missing. To Riley, may your marriage be as strong as your deadlift, as balanced as your squat form, and as enduring as your 6 a.m. workout commitment." Everyone laughed and cheered, and I felt tears prick my eyes. This was really happening. In 2 months, I'd be married to the love of my life. Maya's bachelor party was the same weekend. Her brother and some physical therapist colleagues taking her to Portland's food cart scene and several breweries. We texted throughout the weekend, missing each other despite only being apart for 2 days. "Can't wait to marry you," she texted on Saturday night. "Soon," I replied. So soon. The weeks before the wedding flew by in a blur of final fittings, vendor confirmations, and family arriving from out of town. My parents were hosting several relatives at their house, and Maya's family had taken over a local hotel. The night before the wedding, we reluctantly separated, honoring the tradition of not seeing each other until the ceremony. "I don't like this," Maya said, holding me close at our front door. "I don't want to sleep without you." "One night," I promised. "Then never again." "Never again," she repeated, kissing me deeply. "I'll see you tomorrow, at the end of that aisle." "I'll be the one in the white dress, me too," she laughed. This might get confusing. I spent the night at Jessica's apartment, barely sleeping, too excited and nervous and happy to relax. She stayed up with me, watching romantic comedies and eating ice cream directly from the container. "Nervous?" she asked around midnight. "Not about marrying her," I said immediately. "Just about everything else. What if I trip walking down the aisle? What if I cry so hard during the vows that no one can understand me? What if Riley?" Jessica grabbed my hand. "It's all going to be perfect because you're marrying the right person. That's all that matters. Everything else is just details." She was right, of course. The next morning dawned clear and beautiful, warm early September sunshine, promising perfect weather. I got ready surrounded by my mother, Jessica, and Maya's sister, everyone helping with my hair and makeup and dress. "You look beautiful, Mija," my mother said, tears in her eyes as she fastened my necklace, the barbell charm Maya had given me almost 2 years ago. So beautiful and so happy. The venue was stunning. The vineyard's late summer grapes heavy on the vines. The ceremony space decorated with simple white flowers and flowing fabric. 75 chairs were set up facing an arch covered in greenery, and our closest people were gathering, laughing and hugging and celebrating. "Ready?" Carlos asked, offering me his arm. We decided he would walk me down the aisle while Maya's brother walked with her, both of us moving toward each other and our future. So ready. The music started, and I began walking. Everyone stood, turning to watch, but I only had eyes for the other end of the aisle, for Maya, walking toward me in a stunning white dress, her hair down in soft waves, her face radiant with joy. We met in the middle, both crying happy tears, and turned together to face our officiant, an old friend of Maya's from physical therapy school. "We gather today," she began, "to celebrate a love that began in the most ordinary of places, a gym at 6 in the morning, and grew into something extraordinary." The ceremony was perfect. We exchanged rings, spoke our vows through tears and laughter, promised to love each other through morning workouts and life challenges, through easy days and hard ones, through everything that came our way. "I promised to always spot you during bench press," Maya said, making everyone laugh. "And to love you with the same dedication I bring to deadlift day. I promise to match your pace during burpees," I replied, "and to build our life together with the same commitment we bring to our 6 a.m. workouts, showing up, putting in the work, celebrating the wins, supporting each other through the failures. By the power vested in me," our officiant finally said, "I now pronounce you married. You may kiss your bride." We kissed as our families and friends erupted in cheers, and I felt like my heart might burst with happiness. This was it, the beginning of forever with my person, my partner, my wife. The reception was everything we'd hoped for: good food, great wine, dancing under string lights as the sun set over the vineyard. Our first dance was to a Sarah Bareilles song, and Maya held me close as we swayed. "Hi, wife," she whispered. "Hi, wife," I whispered back. And we both started crying again. Speeches were given, toasts were made, and then it was time for our special surprise. Maya and I had choreographed a short workout routine set to music, a playful nod to how we'd met. We changed into matching workout clothes and performed synchronized burpees, squats, and push-ups while our guests cheered and laughed. "This is the most us thing ever," Maya said breathlessly after we finished, both of us sweating in our athletic wear at our own wedding reception. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm writing this from our back porch, watching Maya deadlift in our garage gym through the open door. It's 6:15 on a Saturday morning, and she's already finished her warm-up sets. In a few minutes, I'll join her for our partner workout, the routine we've maintained every morning for almost 5 years now. Life hasn't been perfect. We've had arguments about whose turn it is to clean Moki's litter box, stressed about money when the furnace needed replacing, weathered difficult times at both our jobs. But through all of it, we've had each other. We've had our morning workouts, our shared commitment to showing up, our foundation of friendship and partnership that everything else is built on. Last month, we started the adoption process. In a year or so, if everything goes according to plan, our family will grow by one small human. Maya's already planning how to convert the spare room into a nursery, and I've been researching the best jogging strollers for running trails. "You coming or what?" Maya calls from the gym, grinning at me. "These weights won't lift themselves." "On my way, wife," I call back, setting down my coffee and heading inside. Some people say we moved too fast, that we were crazy to buy a house and get engaged after only a year, that successful relationships should develop slowly and cautiously. Maybe they're right for some people, but for us, when and from the moment Maya asked me to be her gym partner, somewhere deep down, I knew she was going to change my life. I knew she was going to challenge me and support me and love me in ways I'd never experienced. I knew that 6 a.m. workouts would become the best part of my day. I knew that I was looking at my future, even if I didn't fully understand it yet. 5 years later, as I join her in our garage gym and she adjusts my form with practiced familiarity, her hand warm on my back, I'm still learning new things about her, still discovering depths to our love I hadn't known existed, still grateful every single day that she approached me at that lat pull-down machine and asked if I wanted a workout partner. "Love you," Maya says between sets, casual and easy, like it's the most natural thing in the world. "Love you too," I reply, matching her casual tone even though the words still make my heart skip. And then we get back to work, moving in sync like we've been doing for 5 years now, building strength together, one rep at a time, building our life together, one day at a time. Because that's what we do. That's what we've always done. We show up, we put in the work, and we love each other through all of it. The end, and also just the beginning.